Welcome back to another action-packed episode of the Deadly Podcast of Kung Fu, brought to you by the Villains Man, where myself, Justin Raymer, attempts to traverse the continuity of Marvel's most prolific martial artist in Iron Fist and Shang Chi. If you want to keep up with the podcast, you can do so over on social media accounts, Twitter, X, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you want to keep up with myself, Justin Raymer, you can do so over on Twitter, X, and Instagram. If you want to keep up with my other podcasts with me and the friends, play some RPG tabletop games such as Dungeons & Dragons and Star Wars and Resident Evil, you can keep up with the Last Tavern on the Left podcast wherever you follow Deadly Pod at. We're still currently playing the Infinity Crisis of the Omniverse, where we are running a comic book manga-inspired campaign. And my players are Dr. Doom, Kid Goku, and Turtle Ranger Donatello, and they're currently searching for the Dragon Balls. I really love this episode because it's open world. With the Dragon Radar, they know where the Dragon Balls are. It's just a matter of going and finding them. And they have foes to fight. They run into hazardous environments. And it was a lot of fun, and it really kind of caught some of them off guard. So if you love that type of stuff when it comes to an RPG, some good laughs, some serious role-playing, some dick and fart jokes, go subscribe to The Last Tavern on the Left. Now, before we dive into today's issue, we got some Iron Fist news to talk about from this past weekend. At the La Conve Anime Convention in Mexico, Finn Jones was a part of there for a panel, and he spoke about the willingness for fans to see his return as Iron Fist in the cinematic universe. All the Iron Fist accounts that I follow here on most social media accounts, everybody seems to want Finn Jones back to give him that second chance, and I would like to see it too. Here recently, a lot of the people behind the scenes with the Netflix series have been talking about some of the issues they faced when producing those shows, and it seems like, they were held back on a lot of things, and everybody wants another chance. Now, to quote Finn Jones here, he said, "I'm very aware of the critiques of the character and my role in it. My response to that is like, give me a fucking chance, man. I'm here and I'm ready. I want to prove people wrong, so I'd love to see that happen." Close quote. Obviously, he's on board. He kind of teased some Iron Fist stuff maybe a year ago with an issue like in a bag, if I remember, something like that on Instagram. And had everybody up in a frenzy. So, I like that this is really getting some movement from the comic book movie fandom. Most of it's positive. There are those that, don't want it. Personally, I want to see him and Simu Liu team up in the MCU. I'm not sure about how either actor would feel about that. I would hope that they would want that, because these guys have always been tied up there in the 70s, and especially towards the end of the late 2090s to the early 2000s, and then a lot in the 2010s. Because they're both martial arts masters. They're your top martial arts masters of Marvel, and that's why I cover them here in this podcast, because of the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu series. Now, what I would have done is I would have kept all this a secret. If he was to return, I would have not let him say anything, and then he would have just showed up. Could have been in Daredevil, could have been in Avengers Doomsday, could have been in the new Spider-Man movie that was announced here recently as a brand new day. I'm excited about that. But if you look at Multiverse Madness, and everybody loved the fact that Anson Mount got to return as Black Bolt. Sure, he died, but everybody was so excited, and everybody was excited that he got redeemed, because everybody thinks that Inhumans was horrible. Don't think there's anybody that enjoyed Inhumans. I never finished it, so I couldn't tell you, and that just kind of tells you what I think. So if he can't get the redemption, why can't Finn Jones? Obviously, it's a bigger character to Marvel than Black Bolt, and I think that he needs that shot. I think that's fair, that everybody from those Netflix series, love them or hate them, maybe you don't like, and I know that Iron Fist was one that everybody was down on the most. Give the man another shot. We all know the face. We all know that, he's wanting to put the work in. I say, we let him return as Iron Fist Danny Rand. But enough about that. Let's talk about the issue at hand. We're continuing the Avengers Assemble run from Volume 3, as we're going to cover issues 2 and 3 together. I've said this before with team books, is I'm going to focus on Shang Chi and Iron Fist when they're in a team book. In the last episode, Shang Chi was pretty much in the entire issue. This issue with 2 and 3, he's only in there slightly, more so 3 than 2. And as I read these, I read them blind, obviously. I don't read them and then I'm coming back to record things because these are new issues. Now, I have read both of these. Like I said in the last episode with issue 1, I've not read 4 and 5 yet because that's when I decided, hey, I'm going to start covering new books. So, I need to hold off on these so I can read them blind. So I do understand what's going on in these books. No big deal. But, good stuff ahead after we get through 2. Very curious to how it'll play out in 4 and 5. But without further ado, let's get on with the issue at hand. Avengers Assemble number 2 from Volume 3 was released on October 16th, 2024, along with 15 other titles from Marvel Comics. They are Blood Hunters Volume 2 number 3, Crypt of Shadows Volume 5 number 1, Daredevil Woman Without Fear Volume 2 number 4, Deadpool and Wolverine Volume 1 number 22, Miles Morales Spider-Man Volume 2 number 25, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu Volume 1 number 1, Mystique Volume 2 number 1, Spectacular Spider-Men, not man, Men, Volume 1 number 8, Spider-Man Reign 2 Volume 1 number 4, Star Wars Battle of Jakku Insurgency Rising Volume 1 number 2, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3 number 10, Uncanny X-Men Volume 6 number 4, Venom War Deadpool Volume 1 number 2, Venom War Venomous Volume 1 number 3, and Wolverine Volume 8 number 2. Now, these 2 issues are no different than issue 1. There is no title for the story as of yet as I'm recording these, but the creative team is your writer, Steve Orlando, your penciler is Scott Eaton, inks go to Isabella D'Amico, colorist is Sonia Bach, letters go to Corey Patet, and your editor is Alana Smith. Now, if you've noticed, from issue 1 to issue 2, the artist has changed. You're going to see that is a current theme once we get to issue number 3. Now, for the cover, Lionel Francis Yu and Romulo Fajardo Jr. return to do the cover. They do the cover on this entire series, and I really love their artwork together. It's not very over-styled, it's very simple, and has just enough detail to make it really good. And that's what I like in a comic book. I love Todd McFarlane. I love Greg Capullo, but it's so hyper-detailed that, it kind of takes away from the story, can be distracting at times. Art like this on this cover fits perfectly with the story. It's enough to catch your attention and not draw from the story and make them kind of blend seamlessly together, in my personal, humble opinion. The cover itself does a great job of giving you a clue of what's happening as we see Herc, Cap, Hawkeye, and Night Thrasher surrounded by the apes, and the Red Ghost stands among them. But anyways, there's also 2 other variants that came along with this cover. Now, let's move on to the story. Shang-Chi's very little in this book. Literally, it's 1 page. So, what I'm going to do is cover the synopsis that was released for the issue. And then I'm going to talk about what's on the pages. Captain America, Hawkeye, Night Thrasher, and Hercules deploy to investigate a small New England town tormented by the radioactive ghost of super apes. But are the spectral simians villains or victims? And what is the Red Guardian doing in Massachusetts? Even though I'm focusing on Shang-Chi and Tiger Snake here, which are just like 2 pages, this is a really good story. Do not sleep on this if you're just listening. Man, you should read this. I really liked where Steve Orlando took this story, and I'm going to keep that. I don't want to spoil it. You should just go listen to it. It was actually really good. So, Miguel Santos, aka Lightning, you might not be familiar with him if you're picking up this Avengers series, but him and Shang-Chi apparently have the day off, and they are watching some of Wonder Man's movies, and even though it's just 1 page, there's no action with Commander Hand, it's really good, and I love it. So they're sitting here, seriously, Miguel? Double Duel? This is garbage, and it's pretty much an action movie. But look at baby Simon Williams, that's our Wonder Man, says Miguel. Shang-Chi replies, too bad for him, Arnold Schwarzenegger's never made a good movie. What? This is an unintentional masterpiece, Shang-Chi. It's pure gold. That right there is 2 man's men desperate to prove they're not in love. It's one actor and one juiced up gym shark being fed lines. Lines about trying to prove they're not in love. Shang Chi answers him, "You're projecting, Lightning. We could just ask Simon." And shatter any real research take? Not a chance. Sit back and bask in the machismo. Shang-Chi replies, "Everything is better with Kawiki fries. Pass me the box. You'll need your strength. We've got 2 sequels to grind through." Nothing to really do with the story at hand, but I kind of love this. I think it's pretty great that they're going to dog Simon Williams in movies and make fun of them while he's out saving the world. Steve Orlando. Chef's kiss. I love this little detail. As for Serpent Soceity and the Tiger Snake, they're across town where the radioactive apes are running amok, and they're in this little shack, and he is picking up Griever Swill, liquor infused with bone fragments stolen from the wrongly dead, an elixir of deep grief, and misbehaving embalmer once lived here. This is his finest work. And they're giving him some shit about campfire tales. And he tells them, "Python, I owe my life to Mephisto. He can be quite generous, but take heed, princess. Once the serpent tears are complete, the payoff will be biblical." So his whole goal, and he's got Pit Pfeiffer backing him, is to build the serpent tears for Mephisto. What they do, we don't know. We just know he is the true serpent, that the Serpent Society realizes that they worship the red serpent. And that's all there is for issue 2 in regards to Tiger Snake and Shang-Chi. So let's move on to number 3. It was released on November 20th, 2024, along with 21 titles from Marvel. They are Chasm, Curse of Cain, Volume 1, Number 4, Daredevil, Volume 8, Number 15, Exceptional X-Men, Volume 1, Number 3, Immortal Thor, Volume 1, Number 17. Marvel and Disney, What If? Minnie becomes Captain Marvel, Volume 1, Number 1. Oh man, I don't even like saying that. Marvel Zombies, Dawn of Decay, Volume 1, Number 3. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Volume 2, Number 26. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, Volume 1, Number 2. Phases of the Moon Knight, Volume 1, Number 4. Phoenix, Volume 1, Number 5. Predator vs. Black Panther, Volume 1, Number 4. Love that series. Love it. Cannot wait for Predator vs. Spider-Man. That is a dream come true for me ever since I was a kid. If you look at my personal Twitter page, X page, there is a picture I drew. I might have been like 9, 10 years old, and it's Predator vs. Spider-Man. And when and I shared that when they were doing the covers, Predator variant covers, way before these crossovers were ever announced, man. And that's how long I have wanted this, since I was a kid. Yes, I grew up reading violent, bloody, Dark Horse Predator comics. That was my go-to outside of Spider-Man. That and Alien and Dark Horse Godzilla. You heard me talk about Dark Horse Godzilla on the last episode. So anyways, yeah, I was more a Dark Horse kid than I was anything growing up. Continuing on with the list. Scarlet Witch, Volume 4, Number 6. Sentinels, Volume 1, Number 2. Spider-Gwen, The Ghost Spider, Volume 1, Number 7. Spider-Man Reign 2, Volume 1, Number 5. Star Wars, Battle of Jakku, Republic Under Siege, Volume 1, Number 1. Storm, Volume 5, Number 2. Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Number 11. Venom War, It's Jeff, Volume 1, Number 1. Is that necessary? I'm not hating on it, but Jeff gets a lot of love, and I don't understand it. Anyways, Venom War, Lethal Protectors, Volume 1, Number 3, and wrapping up the list is Wolverine, Volume 8, Number 3. Now, a lot of your creative team is the same for number 3, except for your pencils belong to Marcelo Ferreira, and your inks belong to Roberto Poggi. So you're going to see a lot of similarities between writer, colorist, letterer, and editor, obviously the editor, with these books, but your pencils and your inks sometimes change, and, they'll have returning people back, I'm sure. Like I said, your pencils and your inks are usually going to change with these issues. The cover, Lionel and Romulo returned to do the cover, and much like 1 and issue 2, this describes what's exactly you're going to get. The Avengers in Vamp Town trying to save vampires from being slaughtered. The cover also has 2 other variant issues. Can't get away from that from Marvel these days. Much like I did on issue 2, I'm going to read the synopsis. She-Hulk, Wonder Man, Lightning, and Lightspeed deployed to rescue vampires? ? When a new iteration of the Nightstalkers attacks a community of civilian vampires formed in New York City after the events of Blood Hunt, the Avengers must align to protect those who they once sought to defeat. As I mentioned in the last episode with number 1, Blood Hunt's something you might want to read beforehand, and it's literally because of this issue. But we're traveling back to Germany, like we did in issue 1, as we're seeing the very first confrontation that I was so excited about with Shang Chi and Tiger Snake. So we see Shang Chi, he's staring at this museum. Someone talks to him from behind. "What are you doing here?" He turns. "Following the lead. Seems this museum was robbed. The thieves slipped by us when we were fighting Sin across the town. The timing was too convenient." He turns around to see Tiger Snake, and his hands are dripping with greenish yellow substance. And he answers Shang-Chi. "I was told you'd come. My master sees much, but you're no detective, Shang-Chi. More of a walking practice dummy." Let's find out as Shang-Chi gives him the come at me thing that Morpheus does in The Matrix. That's always going to be popular with martial arts fights. So they have this fight, blocking, parrying, dodging. Shang-Chi, you can tell he's got this smile. He says, heh, as he is enjoying the fight. He goes a punch, and Tiger Snake catches his fist with both hands. This yellow liquid stuff burns Shang-Chi's hand, and he screams, "What? But, ah! What did you do? What did you do to me?" As he looks at his hand, it looks like he's got green snot all over his hands. "You are bitten, Kung Fu Master, and the Tiger Snake bite is one few survive." Whatever, Shang-Chi blasts him with one arm of the 10 rings. That was round 1. I'm out of here. And he teleports away. At the end of the issue, as Cap and them return from saving the vampires, he meets with Shang-Chi and they have a private conversation about what's been going on. And Tiger Snake knew I was sniffing around, and his master warned him, "Someone's using our crisis to work on something bigger, Cap." Tiger Snake, "That is a new one, Shang-Chi. I'd say this calls for our attention." And then we move on to the Serpent Society. "My encounter in Germany proves it. Our heists have been well camouflaged, but nothing stays hidden forever. The Avengers have our scent," is what Tiger Snake tells the rest of the Serpent Society. He winds up getting to an argument with one of them, and we get the debut of Titanoboa, who is massive. You would think a Serpent Society member the size of the original Kong from the 1933 film, or maybe even the Peter Jackson film, is something you're going to need to tangle up with the likes of like a Wonder Man, or Hercules, or even a Photon. And as he smashes and he's wiping the blood off his hands, and Pit Viper announces that Titanoboa is their newest member, we see Tiger Snake bowing before them. Really like this fight. Very curious more about this Tiger Snake character with the venom on his hands. We know that venom is very associated with the Serpent Society. Some of them have venomous properties, but the fact that he could just, hands would ooze with this stuff is pretty cool. And we don't know exactly what it does to Shang-Chi. We do see that his hand is bandaged. We see that he says that he is bitten. So what comes out of this, we don't know. Guess we'll have to wait for issue 4. But that'll wrap up this episode of the Deadly Podcast Kung Fu, brought to you by the Villains Man. You can check out the podcast on social media accounts, Twitter, X, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. If you like music, check out Rushing Tiger by Kuro over on SoundCloud. But remember, guys, support your favorite podcast, support your local comic book shops, and keep reading comics, guys.